right, we're here with Joey Royale. We're doing interviews for TotalCon. Welcome to the.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
I guess this is a show, right? Good. Short series of videos. So TotalCon has invited you out as a guest, and I don't want to sound like, well, why did they do that? But why would you say that they've invited you here? What do you do?
Because they're crazy.
Right.
No, it was neat. So last year I came here as a vendor, and I was just getting, everything underneath my belt. I was, I make zines in my basement pretty much.
Right.
So after coming to TotalCon, that was like my first con ever.
Right.
I'm kind of
really,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a late comer to role playing games.
Okay.
So I tried to get a convention on my belt, see what it's all about. Instead of just hanging out with my friends in the basement, I wanted to get my stuff out there. And it got my feet wet in the pool. And then I went to Gen Con. Oh. And that inspired me even more. And I put out more stuff. I started doing my own show. And then I think the real reason I was invited, because my friend Levi from Planet X Games, we got really close over the past year. And he was like, yeah, you got to have this guy come. And it's pretty neat. I made a lot of friends at the last TotalCon, and we kind of have our own little zine crew now. So
it's Levi Combs.
Levi Combs, the luscious Levi.
We are very saddened to know that he couldn't make it.
So Big Al, Levi, we love you. Yeah,
and he could this year.
Yeah,
all set up. He was our first interview.
Yeah, that's my consigliere. That's my guy. I'm representing. Yeah. So that's that.
And so we met last year.
Yeah.
And your product it's amazing because it's got this like 80s kitschy kind of feel, but all in the best possible way.
Thank you.
Like you have captured that. And it's not, I mean, okay, it's cheesy.
It's cheesy,
but that's
what it is.
But it's a compliment.
Thank you.
It's awesome cheesy. It's not crappy cheesy, because anyone can do that. Right. And I love you. Like you have created a brand that I really love. So what is the inspiration behind where all that came from? Is it just growing up in that era?
It's nostalgia,
right?
It's like, so it really all came to be like, I knew I wanted to write, I had to do, I love playing, but I always am that guy that has to make something,
right.
And I like the philosophy of, if it's not there, make it,
right.
So I've always been that way with like, custom action figures and starting my own band. But when I got into role playing, I was like, this is something I really love. I got to do it. So it was like during COVID, and I wanted to do something. I didn't want to rehash something that somebody's already done. So I just made a list of all the things that I love, like really embracing that inner 12-year-old. And the list started with like Walter Mercado, the astrologer from Univision, Pee Wee Herman. And there started to be a theme here, wrestling. I'm like, what the hell? What's the umbrella this stuff is all under? Public access, boom. That's the catch-all. And then all right, so what's the setting? And the town you grow up in always has those mysteries, that's the house where the murder happened. Yeah. Or that house is haunted. Or there's the guy that wears 16 sunglasses and a Superman cape and yells at the clouds.
Right.
So I wanted to encapsulate all that and go back to that like a time machine and explore it. And I think that it's been successful because if you write what you love, that's going to trickle out a little bit. And there's other people that's had that experience, a lot of us grew up prank calling the public access station or, hanging out in the woods and finding weird stuff. So I just
remember when you could prank call. You can't prank call. You should prank call back then. You could.
Nah, that was the best before. Yeah.
And you're right. You would because we didn't have there was no internet that exists really. I mean, other than what DARPA had.
Yep.
And there was no TV was very limited. Set at several stations, and then midnight a lot of stations would go away, right? And then of course, a lot of the shows were kind of whatever, and reruns. So we would go out and do stuff, just go out in the woods, whatever, and that's where you'd find all this crazy stuff.
You'd find trouble.
Yeah, find trouble.
Yeah, find good trouble. And that's the thing. There's the term pre-internet. There's a whole other world. There's a whole way of looking at the world and communicating and finding stuff. Like, remember how hard it was to find a record? Of a band. Like how would you find like a Fugazi album back in the old days or Black Flag or Misfits? Like you had to have that older cousin that had some kind of weird catalog record.
And it's somebody would give you a mixtape.
Yeah,
and then you'd like, wait a minute, what were these songs? Okay, and then you would go find those because you didn't know.
That's exactly it. So it's this community. You build this community. So when I first started putting out WHPA, it was during COVID. Everybody was lonely. And I wanted to go back to that kind of thing. So like the first 100 people that bought WHPA, I made a mailing list, and every month you get a little something, like a prayer card of a character that died, and it's got like a cryptic quote on it. So it was like this, like kind of like inside churches subgenius weird. Like you get something in the mail. Right. One of my favorite books is Weirdness by Mail. Remember that? Like you could go through and find like weird cults you could send away. You get like pamphlets and all that. Yeah,
that's really the weirdest thing you've ever gotten in the mail.
Oh man, I sent away for like one of those late night evangelists. I got like the water, like the water that could heal everything. Okay. I got like a whole collection of like weird stuff you get off the religious channels in the middle of the night. So I got some holy water. I got like a special prayer thing. You put your hands up to it, like Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show. Nice. And then of course, the greatest thing I ever got was the pendant from the old famous monsters, the Dracula's dirt. In the coffin. Oh, yeah. So it's cool.
What about you? You get, like wacky. I have to admit, I've never really bought anything really wacky. I mean, like you don't even have to buy it.
Well, you get that's the best stuff. Not buying and the stuff they give you. Yeah.
Dude, I got I don't know what it was, but like, and I didn't plant them, but I got a bag of seeds and some strange seed that just came to my house. Another time I got a box that had all these like dumb, like kitschy kind of just like things. Like I don't even remember what they were, but it would be something stupid like eyebrow holders or I don't know.
That's great stuff.
Weird stuff. And I know why my name was on it. I never ordered it. I don't know why they sent it to me. And somebody said something about it's like fishing for compliments or something for stars on like Amazon or something. I don't know. I was like,
so that's a WHPA mystery right there. You get something in the mail and it's mind controlled and you're just the innocent say that gets something.
So what did you get this?
What'd you get?
I got a wacko person who wrote 7 or 8 pages in 3 or 4 point font about how there was mind control and how people are being mind controlled. And it was just a dissertation on how crazy they were. And I had no idea where it came from. It was not salted. It was not addressed. Yeah, it was not. Was this you? No, it was not me. That's too much work.
You can always count on mind control. Bring some excitement to you.
I'm telling you,
that's one of those conspiracies.
It was. I mean, I read like 3 pages. I was just like, I just can't. I was more concerned about like, my family. What's going on with this?
Yeah.
Never heard anything else again. Weirdest thing I ever got in the mail.
That is weird.
So that's something I think about doing. Well, no, I saw this thing online, just like going along with that kind of like freaking people out thing. This person, they were selling their house and they wanted advice. They had a dirt floor in their basement and they wanted to know what they should bury in there to freak out the next people to buy the house. And they said,
then bones.
The winner was someone had suggested that there was going to be like a week before the people could take out for the house because you sell the house and blah, blah, blah. He said, you're going to know who's buying the house. Get pictures of them.
Yeah.
Bury them.
Yep.
I was like, God damn, that's awesome.
We've been waiting for you.
Yeah. Hey, stop hijacking the interview. Well, I did do one trick. I did do one thing. When I was painting my last house before we moved, as you have a couple rooms you might have to paint. I was painting the bathroom. I pulled the medicine cabinet out. Yeah. And I mean, this isn't goofy, but it's a little goofy. But I put in there Hail Hydra, but that's awesome. And then put it back.
Awesome. Somebody will find that. Yep. Eventually.
All right. Things through the mail. That's how we got off.
Yeah. That's how this works. Yeah, with my world.
Right. Yeah. And then, but you're doing zines.
Yeah, doing zines. Yeah, wrapping up a Kickstarter right now. It's got 3 more days. And that's Ninja City Drug Demon Disco.
Nice.
So that's a third-party supplement that I do for Goodman Games. Joseph Goodman has been awesome to me. I like to reskin a lot of DCC stuff, the Dungeon Crawl Classics. And a couple of years ago, I did Ninja City, which is like a VHS Ninja 80s breakdance role-playing game that's on the DCC rules. This is the result of an epic game at Gen Con last year where it hit the fan and it went nuts. I'm like, I got to write this. So that's going out now. It's funded, so that's going to be really cool. The special thing about this is it comes with its own D24 table. There's eventually, it's not a real ring.
Dude, you're D24.
That's the thing. And that's the whole thing, the disciples of the 24th chamber, like right. Wu-Tang. Because like we were playing and my friend Diogo, he's like, you got to use the funky dice more because that's what DCC is, So I'm like, all right, D24 table, eventually in the game, you enter the cardboard dome of death where there's a breakdance off with another ninja clan. So you have to breakdance off. And there's some real live action role playing too. You get a pop and lock, you get bonuses if you actually act out the dance.
Oh, nice.
But there's a D24 breakdancing soundtrack that comes with the game. That's on Spotify. It's a list of like classic old school hip hop songs. Yeah.
That's nice.
I like to incorporate a little bit of the, a game and all this stuff.
You are visionary.
I'm nuts. My mother thinks it's just, well, you can thank her. Yes.
Do you do the art as well?
No, I'm not very good at art. I've been practicing. I got my own style. So like once a day, I do a 5-minute painting with acrylics in the basement. I spray paint, like for a month, I'll spray paint a bunch of canvases, one color. And then I'll go down and like this month I'm doing ghosts. So I put a little white paint on the thumb, boom, paint a face on it. It's a ghost.
Right.
So I'm trying to do my own thing, but I do the writing, and luckily I got some awesome friends that does the art for Ninja City. It's my friend Joe Giet. We worked together in the old days at MTV. He was an art guy there, art director. So this is nice to keep our friendship going. We haven't seen each other in like 20 years from when we worked together. So keeping that friendship going through art.
That's cool.
But yeah.
So you worked at MTV?
Yeah.
What'd you do there?
I was intern production assistant all the way up to associate producer. Just, I was like, it was like the last years when they still had videos.
Yeah.
But that the garbage was coming into like the True Life and all that. So got out of that, did a little work there, I did the fake commercials at MTV for a little bit,
Nice.
And then I moved back to Connecticut and got into public education.
Oh.
I'm an elementary school principal now.
Your principal?
Yeah.
Wow. So do your kids know about the Joey Royale person?
It's starting to leak out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
souls are colliding.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to like I'm not it's like I'm out of the basement now. Like so people know I play. Right. So like
out of the basement. I get it.
Yeah. So I every Friday I have 8 4th and 5th graders that we play some Dungeon Crawl Classics with.
Cool.
And but it really came out when like I started to play role playing games about, what is it now, 2024, like 2015, 2014 I started playing, but I had nobody to play with. So I was reading the book. So I started this thing in town called Drinking and Dragons, where we would take over like failing bars. I'm like, listen, I got 40 people coming in, give me a couple of tables, a couple of drink specials. I guarantee you a crowd. And it just started to grow. And like that got in the paper, and my picture was like, hey, the principal's playing, what's this guy doing? But it's embraced now.
So your kids must love it, right? Because you're not just some stodgy principal. You're the interesting principal.
I got a 13-year-old who's with me today. He's running around with my friends, Elvis. And I run games for his friends. They come over in the basement, bunch of 13, 14-year-old guys and gals, and we play some games. So keeping that alive, that basement culture, the wood paneling.
It's so funny because, the first time I saw Stranger Things, right? Yeah. That's why it hit me. Like it really endeared itself to me, like first episode, because it's night in the show. The first episode, it's 1983.
Yep.
Those kids are all 13. 1983. I was 13 in a basement playing D&D. I was like, this is me. I'm one of them. This is my story. So it was really cool because like talking about the basement was a real, very,
man, that's the thing. That was the clubhouse.
Yeah.
It was neat. That was the safe space,
Right.
It's like, you just go in the basement, don't, burn a little incense, don't go too crazy,
right,
and have fun. That was the hideout, and nobody knew about it. It was like the secret thing. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. I remember when D&D was cool because it was so, what? Nothing. Remember when it was like, so, what do you call it? Like, it wasn't mainstream, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wore it as a badge.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you went through it too, but around where I was obsessed with D&D even before I played it because of the Satanic Panic. Like, like the D&D murder in the town next to us and all that.
I went through it. So I got into it before that happened, and then was in it while it was happening. And my parents were freaking out because they didn't know what was going on, but they at least talked to me, and then were like, okay. Like they didn't freak out and like thaw all my crap out and stuff.
Yeah.
Our cameraman over here, his dad, I think, threw all his stuff out at one point.
So I made a direct reaction to that. My first thing I ever made was Darkest Dice, which is a chick track.
Yeah, I love those. I actually, when you were talking about how you collect weird, I have a ton of chick tracks.
So I made a chick track. You can't tell the difference between this and a real chick track. and it's basically AD&D boiled down into a chick track.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh yeah. So
I probably has one.
I put those everywhere. I made a whole bunch of them. I sell some of them. The rest I leave in Home Depot or at like a, like a Chili's in the bathroom. I leave on the thing, just evangelizing role-playing games. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my mom's real proud of me.
Right. Well, this from a principal.
So for now, who knows after this interview?
Right.
Gigs up.
Right.
Hey, hun, we got to talk.
So tell us about Joey Royale's Pizza Party.
Joey Royale's Pizza Party. Man, that brings me so much joy. Joey Royale's Pizza Party is a monthly show on the Goodman Games Twitch channel. And once again, I went back to that list. What do I love? Pee-wee's Playhouse Public Access. I said, let's do this for real. It's been on my bucket list, I want to have my own public access show. So this age's public access, Twitch, you do whatever you want. And so Joseph has been great. He gave me some airtime on that.
That is what that is.
Yeah, that's what it is now, that's do it in your basement.
Never made that.
Yeah. All right. Anything goes. So it's awesome. I get to meet all my idols and talk about creativity. So it's every month. We have the Crypt of Cool, where I share inspiration, Chris Star figures, G.I. Joe, famous monsters magazines, what gets the creative juices flowing. And then we have the Wisdom Check, where I'm obsessed with Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and Stoicism. And Stoicism gets you through creative struggles. I like to make that. And then I have my guests, and I'll pull people from the Goodman roster, that stable of awesome people, and just talk about the creative process stuff they're working on and celebrating the weird. Right. And then I have my my family that's on with me, the Neon Lord of the Toxic Wasteland. Yep. That's like my buddy. He's downstairs with us producing.
How's that book?
It's good, man. It's so awesome. Yeah. And then Luscious Levi Combs is on there. He always brings a sideshow gaff, like a mermaid or a shrunken head or something. Right. And then my other friend, Dr. Metal, who comes with music choices that can inspire great role-playing games. Wow. Yeah, from the metal realm, obviously. That's been cool. It keeps me going. It makes me kind of be reflective every month as to, what's going on in the community. How do we keep that creativity going? And just like how cool it is to be part of a role-playing game scene. Like, you before it's kind of like an isolated thing where it's like it stayed in the basement. Now it's huge. Like the youth center in my town, they had to open up 3 nights. It was just one, but now they have 3 nights of role-playing game, like open table D&D for junior high and high school kids. They can't keep up with it. Like 30 kids every night. It's like the cool thing now. Yeah. Yeah.
It's certainly a flip from before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
like you didn't tell people. You're careful who you told.
Absolutely.
You wind up in a locker.
Yeah.
Who's been your favorite interview?
Man, it's like, that's tough. I would have to say, if I go back, I always got to go back to somebody like Brendan LaSalle from Goodman Games, X-Crawl and all that. He's just so energetic. He lives and breathes gaming. That's his job. He's always hopping on a plane. He's always running games for Goodman, like every convention all across the country. He's living the dream. His work is play.
And so he's a professional DM at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And a writer and all that. But he's been very inspirational. He came out of nowhere to like one of the first Drinking and Dragons. And it was like meeting a celebrity. Like he's been a great mentor to me.
So you're only limited to Goodman Games.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a Goodman Games thing, but I enjoy a lot of stuff outside of that.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a difficult question.
Yeah.
If you had correspond to interview anyone out there in the industry, who would you pick? And they said yes, of course.
I'm having a really good time interviewing artists. So I would love to talk to somebody like Errol Otis.
Oh, yeah. He's hard one to get because we tried to get him on the show that we used to run.
Yep.
And I actually talked to somebody who knew him. Yeah. He's like, yeah, good luck. He's very reclusive. Like he doesn't really like doing this thing.
I almost got Lou Zaki on, the dice master, the guy who made the dice. And I was in conversations with his daughters, but he's in ill health. So always had to wait for the right day and it didn't work out. But that would have been awesome because I know he's got a great mind. But those living legends, we have to embrace them while we can and celebrate them. One of my friends, Bob Brinkman, who has another Twitch show, Sanctum Sanctorum, where it's a lot of Appendix N stuff. They had Michael Moorcock on the other day.
Holy crap.
He got him. So that would be cool. Mr. Moorcock, I'd love to talk about Elric with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, those living Appendix N heroes, those, original artists that were just paving their own path. Right. Nobody before them, just doing that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I guess not a lot of them left these days. Or
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Grab them while you can and let them know that they've changed your life for the better.
yeah,
You know, they're real magicians.
They got opportunities to do that.
yeah, we have to.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Imagine like Frank Mincer
yeah, sure.
and I don't know, quite a few of the old crowd. I'm trying, who do we? Oh God, who was the artist we had? I can't remember. We had like a big artist on there, and I can't think of his name because I'm talking about it right now.
Yeah, so
Yes, and I'll remember it instantly.
I'm going to try to get Doug Kovacs on, which is one of my favorite DCC artists.
Right.
He's hardcore, awesome metal dude, cat dude. So hopefully that'll be my next pizza party.
So can you talk about what like your the next thing that you haven't started yet that you're gonna do that's on the schedule? Is there something?
Yeah.
you're excited to work on?
Yes. So Brian Shutter from Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland and I are working on a game called 66, which is basically a rules light, kind of like Silver Age superhero, like really quick generation, character generation, zine. So basically 66 from the 66 Batman. So that kind of flavor,
Right.
you know, the really weird villains
Yeah.
and like the almost super power, but not really, you know, like kind of like you have a lot of tables to roll on. So it's not going to be, I'm going to have heat vision and flying and all that. It's like, I'm going to have elastic fingers and the ability to breathe underwater. Do what you will. Like it's all totally random. Just kind of like the junk draw superheroes. Like I got this book, like the most regrettable superheroes.
Yeah.
It's regrettable supervillains. Like really getting into that shtick of the 60s. But it's also called 66. It's really simple. It's D6 based kind of stuff. Everything you can do with D6s. And we're going to just use some like public domain, ridiculous comic art that, you know, of characters of that ilk from those ill-fated comics.
Matter Eater Lad. And
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, like the magician.
Right.
It's like, what can I pull out of this hat
Right.
to solve the problem? So we're working on that. So there's that. I have a bunch of more WHPA zines that are just waiting to be printed. I'm just
Now, when you say zine, you mean like in the true sense of the zine?
yeah. They're 24-page black and white interior,
Right.
cardstock fronts that are colored, and I'm not actually printing them myself. I send them off to mix them because I'm like I said, I'm still in the basement doing this stuff. I'm doing everything on Microsoft Publisher.
Oh, wow.
It's like, you know, clip, pasting and all that.
Oh,
So I want to stay true to that zine mentality, do as much as I can within my ability.
you know what? People crap on Publisher, but it's not that bad. I mean, it works.
I'm selling stuff.
Yeah.
It's how it's like the content. Right. I'm a big fan. I don't care how you do it. Like look at the Ramones. You know, it's like cheap guitars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they made a legacy out of
Or
it.
early Monty Python.
Yeah.
Like their animation was literally cut out cardboard.
That's the thing. I love that stuff. With everything, it's like AI now. I'm reactionary to everything I do. So if you're gonna go that far and make it all sweet and polished, I'm gonna go the complete opposite way.
Right.
I'll crumple up the paper before I send it out to you. You know.
And what kind of print runs do you do? Like when you have a zine, how many? You do like 500?
I order like 50 at a time,
50
and I sell them from my Etsy shop.
Right.
And that's how I sell stuff. But now recently, once again, Joseph Goodwin's the best. The third party stuff he's been buying, you know, so it's on their website now. I've recently moved up to Exalted Funeral. So I'm at a really cool point in like this creative journey where like people are picking the stuff up.
Nice.
And it's nice to have that validation and to have some sales and have a little side project.
Right.
But that's where I am right now. So I think that's back to your question, like, why am I here? Like I'm going on this journey. It's going pretty cool. And I want to share like with everybody, you can do this. If I can do this, you can do it. If you have an idea, write for yourself. And I guarantee you somebody out there will be like, that's really cool. I want to get on this. And that's how you build a community.
So you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you do all this game design, which takes way longer than anyone ever anticipates. Do you find yourself like constantly busy, like no time because you got all your game stuff, you got your work stuff, and then I think you said you have families. Yeah. I got 2 kids and wife. How do you like? Do you have a lot of time squeezing all that in?
I know this is how I always lived. I grew up. My father was since he was 16, he worked at a funeral home. Then we had a gravestone business as a family.
Oh, nice.
So the Reaper's always lurking.
Yeah.
And I, my kind of mantra is, maximize creativity before an inevitable demise.
Swear, that is. I was gonna say that's one of the Stoic.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to say there'll be time to sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. Like we got one shot, I can drop at any time, and we've all lost friends. You see how quickly it can go. I'm like, oh, I wish I did this, but like my bucket list is pretty much done. Like I've gotten everything to do that I wanted to do, and that's how I just push. I got to push. I have a very patient wife, and family is my priority. So as long as I have time to go out to dinner with them and chill out and have that time, everything else is devoted to creativity.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
That's pretty much where humanity. That's
people say, "Have you played this video game? Have you watched this?"
Nah, man.
No.
I got to stay away from the video games.
Time for it.
I don't, and like movies, 2 hours. Like it's like, oh, I could write something about this. That's just how my mind works. I'm nonstop. My father's 73. He's still working. He'll never stop. Every chance he's got, if he's a principal too, he'll be down in the basement oil painting or carving wood or doing something like that. That's just how we run.
Yeah, the only time I really sit and watch TV is when I'm spending time with the family.
Absolutely.
That's our family time. And it gives me a chance to watch some TV.
Yeah.
Not with them. I watch the TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to stay busy or I go crazy. Yeah. That's how it's always been.
Oh my. Yeah. You ever have so I had my appendix out.
Me too.
Right. And when I was supposed to be recuperating, I didn't. So I kept doing stuff. I couldn't stay in bed.
No, I get it. And
I was like, oh my God, if I get some kind of illness that makes me bedridden, I'm gonna go absolutely insane.
Well, you look at some of the world's most famous writers. They spent their childhood in hospital beds.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like Roald Dahl or something like that. And that's you get some of the greatest creators out of that. They it's like boom, then you're like a horse out of the door. Yeah. It's like, all right, now I got to do something.
Right.
So yeah, time is short, so you got to do this stuff.
How we doing on Todd?
We're doing wonderful.
Okay.
We're going real fast, so we're good.
Okay. I talk real fast.
I know. No, I love it because, first of all, I got to know, where did you grow up? Because you have like the best accent. It sounds, like, hey, South Jersey.
No, I grew up in New London, Connecticut.
Okay.
And a lot of us talk like that. I get comments on that all the time.
Right.
And I've worked very hard to mask it. So like during the day at school, like, oh, hello, how are you? Like,
yeah, right.
But when I'm doing my thing,
hey, this is Joey. Yeah.
And like that's the weird thing too. Like Joey Royale is now becoming the real Joey.
Right.
It's like there's that weird Hyde stuff, like Hyde's taking over.
Right.
But no, I grew up in Connecticut. My whole family talks like this, and then I moved to New York for a little bit, and that probably influenced it. College, in the Bronx, and then I lived in Queens and Brooklyn and moved back home. But it's kind of like a Connecticut thing.
Yeah, I can hear Connecticut. I hear that.
Yeah.
Connecticut.
But you've traveled, or you've mainly stuck to the East Coast, or have you lived in like?
No, I've always stayed in the East Coast. Yeah, like I said, New London, Connecticut. Went to school in the city, stayed in the city for about 10 years in my 20s, and then moved back home to start my career in education and start a family. And I'm back in my hometown.
Cool.
Yeah. There's something very special about the hometown. Right. I fought it for so many years as a teenager.
I'm moving out of here.
I'm going to the city. I'm gonna live this velvet underground life. I'm gonna get weird. It's like, man, it was a lot weirder at home.
Right.
Where people are trying to be weird.
Yeah.
So I really embraced that, like that, the strangeness and the mundane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We complain. I don't know about you, but I complain about Maryland a lot. But then I'm just like, but actually it's a great place to live.
Yeah.
It's like,
it is. It's how you look at it, man. It's everywhere you go, every kid hated their hometown, and some of us find their way back and find the joy of having roots and the people you can depend on.
Right.
Yep. And the memories.
And the food, right?
Oh, man.
Because you grew up eating that and you go to some and they don't have that.
No. I'm very lucky with the food. That's all I do in my free time is eat.
Right.
Yeah.
All I do in my free time.
Yeah.
You apparently have more free time.
He must exercise too.
So, we just say don't have a lot of free time.
Oh, well.
And you do.
I'm always running. Yeah. Man. Everything in moderation.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot. This was awesome, Todd. It's like kindred spirits. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Absolutely. And I know Jason is a big kindred spirit with you, Jason Elliott.
Yeah.
It's just like he's all into the zines, and that's I work with him. So
yeah, we got to play at ShireCon. He played WHB.
Yeah, that's right. I was there. Yeah,
with his partner. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it was a good time.
Yep. So
as somebody who does a lot of interviewing, respect your thoughts on how did we do?
Pat on the back, gentlemen.
Thank you.
It was like having a conversation. I think that's
pretty to be. Yeah,
that's the point of a nice thing. I've always loved Dick Cavett and watching the old Dick Cavett shows.
Yeah.
Because it's just a conversation rather than, everything's a joke. So,
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. So just real quick before yes, and we don't even have to keep this in the recording, but there was a Dick Cavett episode where he was interviewing. Oh, now I'm gonna fucking blank his name, but it's where Heath Ledger got the Joker from. Oh God, I can't think of his name now. But he had that voice and everything. I'll think of it.
okay, yeah, let me know because I want to watch that. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Tom Waits. Sorry.
Oh, I love Tom. Oh, yeah. When Tom Waits is a little bit in the bag.
Yeah, he was. And Tom Waits is leaning,
Smoking on the cigarette.
Yes, yeah.
On.
And if you listen to him with the Dick Cavett, you're like, oh my God, it's a joke.
I'm a huge Tom Waits fan.
Yeah.
Huge Tom Waits fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool.
Thanks for that, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Right? Enjoy your time.